Hey everybody, Scott DiGregorio, your mortgage guy. I want to talk to you about my why. I mean, why the heck am I in this business? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And why should you give a crap, right? So look, the first 10 years of my life, my father owned a business and we had quite a bit of money. And when I was around 10 years old, my father lost his business and not having ever saved money, we were then quite poor. I was selling candy in middle school for extra money type thing. I went on to watch my parents struggle financially, and it wasn't their fault per se. They didn't really understand money, and I've been working since, like I said, 11, 12 years old. I'm working and kind of hustling and trying to make ends meet. And I remember a time when I was about 22 or so. I remember my parents coming to me saying, Scott, we're scared. Our fixed income is here, rent is doing this, and we're really afraid that we're going to be homeless down the road. And can you help us buy a house? And both my parents died young, but I did go ahead and do that for them. And what I realized during that whole time was that people don't understand how money works. Walk through the halls of some of the greatest universities and they don't talk about it. My teenage children, for crying out loud, they could talk for hours about quadratic equations, but they don't know anything about compounding interest, and they don't understand the value of doing things early. So I came across this tagline years ago that says, because educated clients make better decisions. And is it a sales thing or sure? I mean, I guess you could look at it that way, but let's not. Why don't we look at it as just truth, right? Educated clients do make better decisions, and that's where my passion comes from. I want people to understand money. Getting the mortgage is what I get paid for. What I do is I try to help people with their finances. I try to help them understand things. All of these series, it's really all about looking at things in a bigger picture. And man, it's big. It's so big because, look, in 2003, 4, 5, leading up to the Great Recession, people made a bunch of bad decisions. They were buying more house than they could afford. They were making decisions based on today's circumstances, and it's just not how I do things. I was sitting down with a couple examples recently. I was sitting down with clients who, they were expecting in about 5 years to have some healthcare costs for their parents, their ailing parents. Sitting down with young first-home buyers recently, where they wanted to buy as much house as they could afford. They were 20 years old, and I talked them into scaling that back down, that house purchase a little bit, so they have money to invest into their retirement, and on and on and on, things of that nature. I'm working with another couple now. They're in their 60s and they're not married, and we're trying to structure things in such a way that they're both protected. Look, this crap matters, man. It matters because the decisions you make about money impact everything in your life, right? The number one cause of divorce is financial related. And how many parents go home every day stressed out over money, and they take it away from, they take time away from being with their children, or they're just not happy. And that's my why, man. I want people to just understand money better. And over the years, because of my life experiences, I've studied it. And I want everybody to walk away from dealing with me, not necessarily just as a homeowner, but as a person that has a better understanding of money and the big picture and how things pick up, how things play into each other. I talk a lot about Dave Ramsey, right? And the Total Money Makeover book. I talk a lot about debt consolidation. I talk a lot about living below your means. I talk a lot about not buying stupid crap. I talk a lot about needs versus wants. All of these things are designed to help people make better financial decisions for their situation. And that's a whole other piece of it is, and I talk about this a lot too, the livability factor, right? As a result of what I went through as a child, I'm a psychopath with my savings account. Taking money out of my savings account bothers me, even though that's the purpose of a savings account. I could argue it's irrational, but who gives a crap, man? To me, it's real. Okay, there's a fear in the back of my mind that it could all be gone tomorrow, because when I was growing up, one day I woke up and it was all gone. And that's real. I don't care about practicality or anything. In my mind, in my heart, in my, my central nervous system, it's real. And what I want to do is get to understand what my client's reality is, what experiences they had, so I could advise them differently. And look, that's my why. That's what I do. And man, I hope I'm conveying that to as many people as possible, and just changing the conversation. So anyway, I'm Scott DiGregorio. I'm your mortgage guy. That's my why. I hope I could help. Take care.